Oh, hey there you are. Welcome back. I'm David York, and this is the York Way. Today we're going to shake things up and do things just a little bit different. We're not going to talk about an Indian motorcycle, but we are going to talk about this bike that we've got on the lift that we just recently finished servicing. And we'll talk about some of the tools and techniques that we use to service this bike and get it ready to ride for 2026. We'll talk about a couple of other products that we're testing out that we're going to use this bike to test on. And also, we are shooting this video on a new camera system, so please drop us a comment about the quality of the audio and the video and let us know how it looks and sounds to you. Now, this 2022 Triumph Street Triple RS is one of my personal motorcycles, and the reason it's on the lift is I just finished servicing it. I'm looking at the weather and I'm looking at the forecast, and I could tell that I'm about to get really busy really soon servicing your motorcycles. And that's great because we're ready, we're excited, we're ready to get you guys ready to roll for 2026. But I knew if I didn't get it in here now, I may not get to it anytime soon. And so we wanted to get it in here and get it serviced. As an additional FYI, this bike may be up for sale sometime soon. There's another motorcycle that I'm keeping an eye out for that's not made it here to the US, but when it does, this bike will go up for sale. So if you're interested in learning more about this bike, I'm going to grab the camera. We're going to go around this bike and talk about it. So I'll tell you all about it. I'll tell you all the accessories that are on it. I'll tell you who I think this bike's targeted rider is, and some of the tools and techniques that I use to service this motorcycle. All right, 2022 Triumph Street Triple RS. 3,813 miles on this bike. It's in a beautiful silver ice paint. Love the red painted subframes, a nice touch. The silver ice is a beautiful metallic. This bike is not ceramic coated. I've always kept it in a spray wax just because that spray wax makes that silver ice paint pop. This bike, when you buy it off the showroom floor, is track day ready. So Triumph's intended target rider for this kind of bike, for a Triumph Street Triple RS, their intended rider is an intermediate to advanced rider and someone who would like to maybe even go do a track day. Obviously you don't have to do a track day, but it is ready to go. 120 horsepower. You've got five ride modes. You've got rain, street, sport, track, and a custom mode. It's even got a lap timer in the computer, up on the computer screen, so you can track your own lap times when you're at the track. This is the configuration I normally ride it in. I'm normally in street or sport mode, depending how fruity I'm feeling that day. But I do like having the tail bag on it. The tail bag simply straps onto the passenger pillion, and all the extra strapping is kind of hiding in the little cubby down there. But this is just enough space. You can throw your water bottle, a snack. I keep my suspension adjustment tools in there so I can make changes out there on the fly, whatever. So it's just enough space to have a little something in there so you don't have to carry backpack. But yeah, 120 horse, fully adjustable suspension front and rear. Öhlins rear shock, Showa front forks, Brembo brakes all the way around. The bike originally came with super courses on it, which, again, are a track day ready tire. I ran those about 3,500 miles, and I just changed them last summer. I changed them here in my shop. When I changed the tires, I went ahead and put the TPMS sensors in the wheels, which you can tell by the gray valve stem there. They give you the gray valve stem to indicate TPMS. There's another sticker you can put on the wheel, but I didn't want to put stickers on the wheel for TPMS. But so that's nice to have. The bike does have the Bluetooth module in it. Obviously, you've got the Triumph bobbins installed on it, so you can use the pit bull lift there, or the stand. It's got the frame protectors here. These are Triumph frame protectors. You've also got the Triumph fork protectors, fork sliders, whatever people call them, different things. You've got the Triumph tank protector here. These are easy grip, clear tank protectors. I really liked the look of the RS. I didn't want to put just a big black tank protector there and hide the RS. So found these in clear. They're stippled just enough to give you a little texture when you're knee gripping it. This clear spot circle right here is where they give you a logo that would stick in there, and I just didn't put their logo on it. You got Evotech tail tidy, which just is a nice clean look back there. Pulls the original license plate was like out here from the OEM, so it pulls the license plate up nice and tight up under the rear end. The passenger foot pegs are off, and you've got an Evotech block off plate right there. I have all of these original parts, so everything that I'm saying is a takeoff. I have all the OEM parts. The turn signals are the progressive turn signals. I switched those out. Let's turn it on and show you those. These are just so much more visible and eye-catching. Rather than just the standard OEM blinkers, you've got the nice progressive blinker. These come standard on the European bikes, but not on the US bikes. So I had to source these from the good old chaps in the UK. The lid locks, bar end, helmet locks. So right here on the end of the handlebars, this little device is a helmet lock. And the way it works is in this slot here, you stick your D-ring from your helmet up in the slot, push this pin in, and it will click and lock in place. And then your helmet just hangs here by your D-ring, which works really well. You know, the bike is normally over on the side stand, so then your helmet is hanging out away from the bike, and you don't have to take your helmet anywhere with you. You can leave it on the bike. And also has an Atlas throttle lock, Atlas being the brand, but throttle lock here works like any other throttle lock that you've heard. I mean, as far as the purpose of it is simply, you know, this bike does not have cruise control on it. So all the throttle lock does is when your throttle is in a certain position, you can press the top button and it will kind of lock the throttle in that position until you hit the bottom button, and then it frees the throttle up to speed up or slow down. So the oil was changed last summer. Again, only 3,800 miles on a bike now, so the oil was changed at probably 3,300 miles maybe, which is way before it needs to be changed. I think Triumph says change 10,000 miles. There's no way I would ever run any motorcycle from break-in to 10,000 miles without another oil change. I'm just not doing it. I've seen too much data that says that's bad. Anyway, I changed it when I changed it last summer because, or more last spring actually, because it was the original oil. Well, we did the break-in and then changed the oil, so it was the oil from summer of 2020. And so just because it had a few years, it had gone through a few winters, and I wanted to change it. Put fresh oil in it. It's got fresh brake fluid in it. I just put fresh brake fluid. It's actually the second time it's had fresh brake fluid in it. This time around, we put AMSOIL brake fluid in it. So this is one of the products that we're testing out, AMSOIL brake fluid. We are an AMSOIL dealer now, so we're trying out, testing all of this stuff. This is 100% synthetic brake fluid. It says DOT 3 and 4, but And it's going to say that because that's what everybody's familiar with. But if you read the back, DOT 5.1 exceeds DOT 5.1. And if you look up the specs on the data sheets on AMSOIL site, this is like a 520 degree boiling point. So this is a really good brake fluid, and for the price, might be one of the best deals around. Everything that got cleaned and lubricated got AMSOIL grease here. This is AMSOIL's synthetic water resistant grease made for marine power sports and trailers. Now what I like about this is I've used a variety of greases over the last few years here, trying to find the best grease I can find to use on motorcycles, because the greases tend to push out of the area that you put them in. They tend to push out, wash out, and they just don't stay where you put them for whatever reason. So what I liked about this, the thickener is a calcium sulfonate complex. See if I can get this to focus for you. And the water washout is extremely low, which means this grease should go where we put it, and it should stay there for a long time. We're going to find out. It's on this bike, and it'll go on my Roadmaster as well. When I pulled the bike in here, put it on the lift, I noticed a lot of stiction on the front forks, and so I knew these fork seals were dry. You can see a little haze right there, and that's actually where I put grease on it recently. Let's see if I can set this camera up and talk to you about this. Okay, so this area here, you can see where there's a little grease on there because I just put some fresh grease in there. Like I said, I pulled it up on the lift. I noticed it had a lot of stiction in the seals, and what stiction is friction that is specific to rubber sticking to metal. And the way to solve it is get the proper lubrication there on the metal for the rubber to slide on. In motorcycles, it's obviously going to be common in forks and in suspension because that's a very common sliding point where you have rubber sliding on metal. So, stiction. Now, one tip, a lot of people they want to go at that fork seal, they want to go at that dust seal with a small flathead screwdriver. And I'm just going to warn everybody now, do not use one of these. You absolutely can. If you were in a pinch and you had no other tools, you absolutely can use one of these to open that dust seal up. But the first time you go to do that and that screwdriver slides off, hits something you don't want it to hit, the wheel, the brake line, the brakes, scratch, you scratch that lower fork stanchion, you're going to wish you'd use something else. So get you some body tools, some interior tools, body panel tools, something like this. It will push right into that seal. And open that seal up. Now it's probably a little easier for me because again, it just got greased. That's actually a red rubber grease. And red rubber grease is very friendly to plastics and rubber parts. So it works well right there. It doesn't have a really high heat tolerance, so it's not going to last terribly long, but it will do. I've since picked up some of Maxima's seal grease, what they call seal grease, reducing friction and breakaway force. That's what you could refer to stiction as the friction that you have to overcome to break away these two parts to get this part to move over the other. They use this, they're recommending this in mountain bike forks, power sports, performance autos. So the reason we're going to try this out is this should have an additive package in it specifically designed for this application, meaning should be slicker, should last longer, should not wash out, and it should have all the right properties for that application. And you can take the same tool, push that seal, and you can see how that fork popped right up without a lot of effort. And now that dust seals back in place, and we didn't put any risk to scratching anything up. All right, like I said, the chain's been cleaned every 200 to 400 miles. We've cleaned the chain, and this is the products I've been using. I don't really recommend one product over another for cleaning a chain. You would like to think somebody like Maxima knows what they're doing for cleaning and maintaining chains. The most important thing about cleaning and lubricating a chain is doing it, and doing it regularly. You don't want to use anything that will strip away the protection for that O-ring or harm that O-ring. Most important thing. These are O-ring chains. All the modern bikes, I'd say 90% of the modern bikes are going to have O-ring chains. And what I'm trying to show is the O-ring right down in there is holding grease inside that chain link on every link all the way around the chain. That link, or that O-ring, if it fails, allows the environment to get in at the grease and make the grease fail. Once the grease fails, your chain is not long for this world. So the most important part about maintaining your chain is not, you do not want to use something that will harm the O-ring, and as far as cleaning it, and then when you lubricate it, you want something that is O-ring friendly, meaning it's going to ensure the longevity of that O-ring. It's not going to dry it out. You want that O-ring to live as long as possible. Probably my favorite part of this deal is that little blue attachment right there onto the bottle. I think this is made by Oinker. And it takes your spray nozzle, turns it down into this area, and that is the area you would put right on the chain. So you put that right on the chain, spin your rear wheel with the other hand, press the spray, just hold this in place while the chain is moving underneath it. Press the spray, and all of that lubrication, all of that cleaner goes right where it needs to be, on the chain. So using this, you're going to use less cleaner. You're going to have less spray. It's not going to spray everywhere. You're not going to have a big cloud of this stuff all over the place. It all goes right on the chain, right where you need it. And so in reality, you're going to have more cleaner going where you need it, but you're going to use less cleaner to do it. And then the same thing with whatever chain protector that you're using. Another tool, just a really simple tool. Like I said, we had this tire off, changed this tire last year, so you'll put this is a tire alignment tool for a chain-driven bike. Attaches right there to the sprocket, and then what you're looking for is this is not going to look in alignment. What you're looking for is that rod being in alignment down the chain. So if you look down the chain, you can kind of make out this line on either side of the chain all the way to the front sprocket. You set this up, and now you've got this guide tool that should be parallel to that line I just pointed out on the edge of the chain. If the guide rod is off one way or the other, I'm being a little extreme, but if it's off one way or the other, then you know your wheel is out of alignment, and thus your chain is out of alignment. So then you've got to get over here to your axle, get your axle nut loose, use your adjusters, get everything adjusted, and get your chain in alignment. And probably one of my other favorite tools in this deal is, because nobody likes to adjust a chain, the chain tension. This is a tool made by BPA Racing. And let me set this camera down here and show you how this works real quick. The whole goal of setting this up is when you buy this tool, you go through your chain tension just like you normally would according to your owner's manual and make sure your chain tension is correct. And once you know your chain tension is correct, then you set this tool up according to its instructions to get this alignment of, see this notch in this washer. In this outer washer, you got a notch here. Okay, there we go. So we can see that. So you've got this outer washer with a notch in it. And then you've got this notch on the plate behind it. You want those two notches in alignment, and that tells you that your chain is in alignment when this tool is installed on the chain. The beauty of this tool is once you've done all that initial setup, now you can go throw this tool on the chain this easy and read your chain alignment by these two notches right here. When the notch on this nut is in alignment with the notch on the plate behind it, your chain is perfectly in tension according to however you originally set it up. If the notch on the nut was pointing to this side, it would be loose, your chain would be loose. Conversely, if it's pointing the other side, this straight line means your chain would be too tight. It's that simple. I mean, you're gonna spend more time just, getting your tool set up, getting your chain properly tensioned, and then you're getting your tool set up. But if you just like to keep up with checking things, making it easy to check the thing that you want to check enables you to do it. So there you go. Chain is always maintained. Everything has been greased and lubricated from all of your pivots, your shifter pivot, the brake lever pivot. These things get removed from the bike, disassembled, cleaned, and lubricated in your pivot. The shifter linkage got pulled off and cleaned and lubricated in there. Side stand cleaned and lubricated. Clutch lever removed out of the perch. Clean and lubricate everything in here. Inspect the clutch lever while you got that open. Brake lever, same thing. Pull it out of the perch. Clean and lubricate all of that. Same thing with the foot brake. You're going to get in here, pull this off so you can disassemble the brake pivot, which is right back here. You got to disassemble it so you can clean it and lubricate it. And there you go. 2022 Triumph Street Triple RS, 3,813 miles on it, serviced and ready to rip for 2026. And remember, you got to bring your Indian motorcycle to the York way to have it serviced the way it was meant to be.